Moving on to Detroit, I think that's a good segue.
That is, because this is my favorite, y'all. This is my favorite.
All right, so this is the last one we're gonna talk about, y'all. So
all these people crazy, and I love
everybody.
It. Oh
we love Detroit. Listen,
how the whole cast,
Detroit.
every single person,
it's crazy to me.
Nobody's safe. Nobody's safe.
Listen, these storylines are giving
crazy.
You life, right? So
let's shout out Carlos.
What do we think about the first episode? We got shout out to Carlos King. The casting is phenomenal. How did you find these relationships?
Phenomenal.
In these scenarios, kudos to the casting crew and the casting team for picking these couples. But let's let our listeners know who is who, right?
But I will start off by saying this. I feel like y'all know that everybody here watch a lot of reality TV, but I watch a whole lot of reality TV, and I have to say that this was probably my favorite first episode of a reality series that I ever saw. Like the way they set up the storylines, the way they introduced the couples, and they talked about old Detroit and new Detroit. Because I'm not gonna lie, growing up, 313, 312, 314, like, we all kind of the Midwest. We all kind of like the black cities of the Midwest. And I ain't never heard nothing nice about no Detroit. I've always heard like
Motown.
The only thing I know about Detroit was gospel music and Motown. Like that's and big churches.
Auto industry.
Big churches.
Yeah, and like cars and stuff. So like I never thought of no Detroit of like, because everybody's from Detroit. I was like, we nitty gritty and we hard people. And
come on,
I'm gonna tell you what. I went to Detroit, I went to Detroit maybe in February, and I ain't seen nothing nice about what I seen. But
that's what I'm saying, and I think that's a part of the reason. I think that's also a part of the reason why Carlos is doing so good with shows, because he picks cities that really put us into a new world. Like,
Bell Collective. I never thought I would have cared about going to Mississippi, but now I actually want to go visit some things.
Yeah, I want to go see Ferris Street.
Yeah, I want to go see.
You know what I'm saying? I want to see what the hype is now, because right now they talk about this Ferris Street.
Shout out
down there. You gonna get down there and be like
it's gonna be crazy. But he turns.
It's gonna be Wash Avenue in St. Louis.
He turns these black cities into like, I don't know, like I think that's his niche, and I think
that's his niche.
Stay with that niche.
Yeah,
he needs to stay with it. But Detroit, I will have to say, the way they introduced this show and these cast members and their storylines, and I was just blown away. Like the instant chemistry. We had multiple group scenes the first episode. We had a little drama pop up. We had
the first episode. Okay. Let's talk about the couples now. So our listeners. So listeners, your homework. We told y'all
gotta watch
this show.
I won't.
If you don't watch any of the shows that we've talked about, please look at Detroit. So let me tell y'all, it's streaming on Max.
No, it's not new episodes, is it? I think it's just when the season comes out. You have to watch it on.
Dang! So you have to watch it on the own app. Okay, so it's streaming on OWN and or wherever you watch TV. It comes on TV, Saturday, Saturday nights. Really good. Just add it to your DVR. It's after Huntsville. It is worth the watch. If you don't watch any other franchise,
I love this show.
This one is
you
good.
can skip Huntsville and watch this.
Honestly,
facts.
Because this one,
facts.
This show is let's get into excited. He'd be like, "We watching Detroit." I'd be like, "We watching Detroit." Like,
I mean, okay, so let's hit it. So Russell and Kobe,
your friend.
It is so good to see. It's so. First of all, weird to see Russ on TV. Russ, you a little something. You a little something, man. Listen,
all them problematic.
Russ is a little something on this show, but like, you know what? I do feel like he is true Russ. He is really showing his true self. Mm-hmm. I love Kobe. This is my first time meeting Kobe.
Problematic.
He's been married for 3 years. Oh, you think Kobe's problematic?
What should we do with Jasmine?
We'll get to it.
Okay, we'll get to it. I love me some Kobe though. She's so cute. They both fit. Gorgeous. They both fine couple.
Beautiful.
Okay, they're gorgeous. Kid, gorgeous. Cute.
The family. Baby.
Yes.
That baby.
Baby is cute.
Do it, right?
Like
baby.
So
just like
so for our listeners, this is the two people that we said where Russ is the one who wants to be a pastor / chaplain of the army, y'all. I didn't even realize that. That's a whole other thing, and we'll talk about that. The National Guard. And already started doing classes without telling his wife. He tells her afterwards. We're gonna get into it. Hold on. We're gonna get into it.
Daddy.
We're gonna get into it. Yep. So then let's go to the next couple. We're just giving a little highlight.
Oh,
next couple, you got Christina and Brandon.
The crazy ones. Ooh. The crazy
These
ones.
are the two that I'm like, did y'all come on this show to show us what a divorce gonna be? Or like,
why did I get married? Marcus and Angela.
Yes.
I don't even think it's
it's given. We gonna fight whatever, whenever, no matter who around, knock out, drag out. I don't care.
This is a couple that only met each other 6 months before they got married, and it's showing. This is why you don't marry nobody, y'all. You are still dating the representative at 6 months. You don't know who that person really is. They are still showing you the best sides of them. They are still making up their bed. They still like, oh, you want me to cook you something? They are still doing all of the things. You wait until that 1 year situation where they like, okay, I'm tired of keeping this up.
But that's still a cop out because they've been together 11 years at this point. So this ain't new.
At this point,
we don't know what kind of hell he been given for.
Exactly. I think
I'm sorry.
6 months.
This situation is given. This is not the first time.
Okay,
this is not the first incident. That's what it's given.
Mm-hmm. This is the couple where there may have been some infidelity. We're still a little unsure into what that looked like. It was. But she did express that he works with artists for artist development, and he had an artist that he got caught up with. We only heard an emotional affair, whatever that means to her, because I think people have different terminologies for things.
But the thing that you gotta talk about this part too. It wasn't just the fact that it was emotional. He was dogging his wife out to this lady,
to the woman,
and she read those messages. Like he was dogging, saying, "I got 1 foot in," and like he was dogging his wife out to this woman. Okay,
I'm speechless.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
Okay, so they literally have some volatile moments out the gate,
and we only 3 episodes in.
At the anniversary,
we only 3 episodes in, and I think every episode is a situation.
Crazy.
Yeah, that anniversary was a whole situation, but I will get to that. And then the last couple is Anthony and LaToya. Yeah. So Anthony and LaToya is really interesting. I think I got a little perspective on that one too. Anthony is a very hardworking man. He works in production for films. He definitely gives off male chauvinist in a lot of his comments. But I think, and then you have his wife, who is a doctor. She also has her own wine line with the help of him. They do that business together. You're seeing them in real time. Their biggest situation is in the midst of COVID. They have 2 sons who was doing virtual school, all the above. We also find out that there was some bullying, dealing with race happening. He left them to go to Atlanta and do some work in Atlanta, and left her to still be in the hospitals during COVID and still take care of the kids by herself. So he's upset that she made him come back.
I feel like she should have won with him.
But we're gonna have that conversation. Okay, so these are the different scenarios. Okay. So let's go back to Russell and Kobe first, because I want to know what Jasmine has to say about Russell and Kobe.
Because she don't like Kobe. What Kobe do?
What Kobe do, girl?
Being quiet. That was not her time. You and your man, you know.
But she didn't know. Here's the thing. So let me give you some perspective, Jasmine. I told y'all, me and Darian talk, right? If Russell never told her
that the wife didn't know,
he didn't tell his wife, so don't you mention it. Knowing that the wife is friends, like Darian would need to, like Darian, the first thing he'll tell me before he tells me something he's supposed to tell me is, bruh, this cannot leave this room. This is between me and you. Do you hear me? Do you understand me? Before it even comes out, it is I need you to hear me.
Yeah.
And then he'll tell me. Russ didn't do that. So in her mind, she like, Oh, this is
already
knowledge.
Know. Yeah.
This is knowledge. My girl just ain't told me.
It's not the fact she said that. Then my girl kept digging. It just sounds like
I would too then.
I ain't gonna lie, Jasmine.
Like,
why
too.
would you?
Why do he know? And then I know before your wife know.
Yeah,
but
let that been the argument. You kept digging. You kept like.
So if that was your friend, you wouldn't have had her.
Girl, that would have been me too. I'm Kobe. I
would have had my girl back. Like,
if that would have been, for instance, Shay and Darren, I'd have been like, Darren, you trash.
Period.
So I have an issue.
I understand
why would you not tell my cousin?
I understand why she kept going. Yeah, I understand why she kept going, but it's just like, girl, is the
it was their anniversary. It wasn't
their anniversary. The seed is planted. Like, she didn't know.
And I'm sorry.
Actually, guys, this is spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. If you haven't watched the show,
it shouldn't be spoiler. It's this. But we're talking about this first episode.
Yeah, this 3 weeks in. This first episode.
But okay, so if you have a problem with Kobe doing that, what did you think about Anthony? Because he was going just as hard.
I don't like him.
And
I like him.
And he was saying Kobe needed to stay out of it. But
I think he needs to stay out of it too.
But he does the same just as hard.
But y'all, he made the same mistake. Here's what happens when a man lies. When you, not even a man, when anybody lies, the hard part is you got to keep up your lies, and then everybody else around you now got to be bought into your lies.
And you see why I said a couple of weeks ago, I said, "Don't ask me to lie for you because I'm not doing it." Because you're not going to get me caught up like he was caught up looking crazy.
He was at the club. She was like, the club. And he was like,
but can we talk about her and the fact that she don't want her husband to be
She's so insecure.
It is just oozing out of her.
But isn't she understandably insecure though?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that's understandable.
Here's the problem.
But my thing is,
if you gonna do that,
leave.
Leave.
Yeah. Or stand 10 toes down. Like, quit making it seem like I can't tell him what to do. He can do what he want to do. But then, like, if you do this,
it's passive aggressive. That's passive aggressive. That's manipulation.
It is because she want him to choose what she wants. Exactly. And she don't want to have to be able to say, "I told
exactly." Because she don't want to be blamed. That's manipulative. I hate women that do that. Oh my God.
Let me pose this question, and this is what's going to go back to the conversation we had before.
Come on.
Once there is infidelity. And you choose to stay with that person, you cannot keep bringing up the past and punishing them, or else you need to let go. If you can't move forward, if you feel like you still can't trust this person to where he can't even do his job anymore because you don't want him in those same, he can't even get a new artist and he's over artist development. Like, I don't even know what we're talking about. Like, my job is artist development. Yes, I have a new artist. What else would I be doing if my job is
what my point is, and I make this point to Ramad, and this is a point that I don't think a lot of people think about. I think they are so codependent to where I think he's also blaming his wife as making him feel better about his career not being where it should be. Because if she won't allow him to, right? Because if you really that guy in the music industry, you done been in the music industry for 15, 20 years.
You don't need to be in no club. Jay-Z ain't got to be in no club to make no money deals.
Or you can have people go to the club for you. You don't have to go.
So I think it's a two-edged sword. I think that he likes the fact that he has something to blame. Like, in his head, I have my wife to blame for my lack of my career movement.
Well, and didn't she say that in this last week's episode? She said everything is my fault. Everything is my fault because this is going on or this happens in your career. It's my fault.
Yep.
And
it's me. He uses her like Maurice.
Yikes!
Just like Maurice.
It's a scapegoat thing, and I think that she's such an enigma to me because it's like on one hand I understand her, on the other hand I just be like, girl, you doing too much. You smothering this man, you blowing up his phone.
She went to that event and made a mockery of that wine event. I would have been so mad if I was her friend. I would have been like, I didn't put all this money and all this time to bring all this
wife is too passive for me.
I don't like her. That's why I don't like her.
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
I don't like people like her. The quiet in the back is something going on with that lady. We're gonna talk about her, but when it comes to Christina, I feel like part of the time I understand her, but the other part of the time it's like you kind of feed it. Like I said, it's like a codependent thing because they both wrong. Like they both are wrong. Like
they both are toxic. They're in a toxic relationship. It's toxic. Literally, when you have an argument and you talk about I think I may be separated because I'm in the other house and we ain't talked in the last few days. That is unacceptable. Let me and Darian fight and then he don't bring his butt home. I'm showing up where you at all with the kid. Like, are we all staying here?
All of that shows that's not the first time that's happened. That happens all the time.
She's used to that. She used to that. Like, and I think they thrive.
And he went back to the house, and she over here asking her to paint stuff like nothing never happened.
Yeah, like I just
and also, so we'll see. I guess in this upcoming episode, so he keeps saying that Colby is kind of biting off of
I don't like that.
I don't like that.
And she's becoming a Colby cat. And so
I don't like that.
So like, are you trying to hype your wife up to fight this other woman? Like, what are you doing?
He's trying to get Colby out.
So
he's trying because Colby be clocking him clearly.
Yeah,
so he's trying to get her. So he's trying to like pit his wife against her because it's like she's the reason. She's the reason why all of this is going on.
Off.
Have you seen her Instagram? She's copying. First of all,
she's first of all, if you're my mentor, you're supposed to be helping me. And old girl said Christina said the first episode. Yeah, I'm 10 times. She's like, I'm about 10 years older than her.
And
I'm taking her as a mentor.
That girl looks so good. I thought she was in her like 20s. Yeah, but she said she was 40.
Yes. She's like, I'm taking her as a mentee. I'm mentoring her. So if you're my mentor, I'm literally coming to you because I see something that you're doing and I want to learn more about how you're conducting business. And so there's going to be some things that are similar because you're mentoring me.
It's based off trend. They all copy each other. She ain't the only one to come up with get ready with me. Everybody do get ready with me.
Reels is a new thing. Now, babe, she only doing reels. She's like,
we all do reels.
That's crazy, and I can't wait for Russ. I can't wait because I feel
now, can I just say this is the Russ y'all don't want to see?
I saw Russ when that he told her, he said, "No, you don't got to speak." I said,
I need y'all to understand. Russ is real calm and real cool on a regular day, real non-controversial, but. If you come,
you better be ready.
Disrespectful, especially for I'm sure his wife.
And the army out in the army training and all that he got.
No, he works out on he's always been a dude that like worked out and stuff.
Yeah, because he want to start a fitness club.
He was an athlete. Russ was an athlete. So
girl, that man.
I think if I want to say he ran track and he did football. So he was an athlete, and so he's always been very fit. But what I will say is Russ reminds me a lot of Darian, where there's certain people I don't like to see really mad. Because they sometimes can feel like I can't control this person in this moment. So I'm just gonna move out the way and just apologize later. Because I know me trying to calm this person down is going to make the situation worse.
Yeah.
So and Russ strikes me as, and once they start talking about Kobe,
it's a wrap. But the thing I like about Kobe, she hold her own too, though.
She can. She got a mouth. I love
it.
She's soft, but she got a mouth.
Don't hide behind her man in no way. Because at that table, Russ was show like, no, stay over here.
Yeah, they household. She was like, and I said what I said.
So she's not I'm a hide behind my man type of woman. And about her.
But what I respected about Russ that I don't like about Brandon is that Russ is not going to allow anybody to talk to his wife crazy.
Yeah.
And Brandon allows all of them to talk to his wife.
Because he feel the same way. He feel like that they take it up for him. Exactly. That's why he allows it.
That's why he allows it.
Yep.
So it's like who's really wearing
his words are finally getting across. Like when other people go go off.
He's like, finally, I have another person in the room to speak on what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
So he allows it.
But I get what he's saying though. You want me to bring money in the house, but you don't want me to go work.
I get both of them. That's the thing.
I get it. I get what you're saying, and I understand his point. However, you should never let somebody speak to your spouse as disrespectfully as them dudes, especially men speaking to women.
Yeah.
Like you should never be allowing your friends to speak to your wife like that ever.
Especially you talk crazy, then be like, you need to fix this. Boy, if you don't get up on my face. Right. If you don't get about
I like Anthony. Let's get into Anthony.
Okay, so let's go into Anthony.
I started off feeling that way. Like, who is this man? Like, what is he doing? Like, what is
problematic?
But through this third episode, I will say I empathize with him, and I feel like in a lot of ways he's a friend that some men need. Like when he got on that phone and told Brandon, "Nah, I remember when you met this lady, and I remember the beginning of your relationship, and you gonna lose yourself without your wife. You need to like."
Yeah, he said that after he went off on her.
Multiple times.
We gotta have both.
I felt
Jasmine said a little too late. A little too late.
Opinion though, I like the only thing I disagreed with Anthony on was the very first episode when they was talking about asking your spouse to go on a trip, or whatever, and how he was just like, I do what I want to do, and I don't like all that. Now when he get in that bag, I don't like all that.
But you got to be respectful of the other person, and
right. But it's
not about allowing; it's about respect.
I feel like he just has bad delivery because a lot of his points, I be thinking the same exact thing in a moment. I be thinking the same exact thing, and his situation with his wife, I'm kind of on his side because if my man, so to break down their storyline, Anthony is like a television producer or wants to become a television producer, and he talks about on this last episode like wanting to like bring a studio to Detroit and tell Detroit stories. I think that's very admirable. And during the shutdown, he got an opportunity to come to Atlanta to work in the Disney Marvel Studios. So a lot of people don't know this, but Atlanta is really going through a huge like production movie television show boom. Like Tyler Perry has this humongous studios here. Like Marvel does film there. There's a big studio called Trilla for Family Feud films and like so many others, like a lot of Netflix shows, a lot of movies in general. Like Bad Boys is filming here right now. Like there's a huge boom in Atlanta for production. So Disney, Marvel, like I get it, but I feel like he handled the situation wrong by telling his wife basically, I'm just gonna go. Type situation.
So let's talk about it, Mandy. I'm with you. And this is what I said at first. Everyone was like, oh my God, that was so bad. Yes, it was. The problem was
why he did it though. Yeah.
The problem was I'm all for him taking a once in a lifetime opportunity. I'm grateful to be with a partner who when I got my big opportunity, to move and shift, he was like, it only makes sense. Like, let's do it. But I can only imagine coming to my partner.
What if Darian was like, ain't no
opportunity? Portland. Yeah. And being like, yo, no, we're never doing that. Like,
you
absolutely not. Like, so I get where he's coming from, but here's the problem that I have. He didn't have the conversation because he knew she was going to say no. And so once in a marriage, you do not get to just make that kind of commitment because it wasn't like he moved. What he was saying is, I'm there on the weekends, whatever, and whenever I need to be here throughout the week. It's kind of like the same scenario that we was looking at. What's her name? Side-eyed from Potomac, when she was like, was it Potomac where she was like, I'm going to go I'm going to go take classes and left her husband.
That was Married to Medicine.
Okay, Married to Medicine. Yeah, where she was like, I've made this decision. I want to go get the Contessa. I want to go get this degree.
I'm sorry.
No, it's the same thing. But here's what I'm saying. It's something that was very passionate to her that she wanted individually for herself as an opportunity. She felt like I got into this once in a lifetime program. Right. So hold on.
But it wasn't.
But she got into
many better schools here in Atlanta.
But what she's saying is it was a program that she was highly sought after for hers, where she wanted to go. She got in. Same thing for Anthony, right?
She wanted to get away from
I got a once in a lifetime opportunity. I think similar to that Married to Medicine situation where they went wrong is there needs to be a family meeting. We need to sit down and talk about, I'm like, babe, I support you. this is a once in a lifetime opportunity for you. So I don't want to say no.
And give her opportunities for help.
But here's what we need to do. In order for you to do this, I need you to make sure I have a nanny X, Y, and Z. What people don't know about me, so Darian has to travel to St. Louis or Chicago, sometimes once or twice every month. I don't even have to ask him. He reaches out to our nanny to make sure that I have support Tuesday, Thursday, whenever I need it, to make sure I'm set up. What I'm saying is, go do your thing. Let's have a conversation about the logistics, but let's also like understand and acknowledge this is going to be a lot on me to handle this by myself. So if you want me to champion you in this moment, make sure I'm set up for success. Don't leave me to do the work all by myself to figure out what I need. Say, you know what, babe? And in order to make this work, because I know that you got the kids, I'm setting up for them to have a tutor to do for someone to come in every day to do their homework with them, so you can decompress when you come home from the hospitals and take some time, wash yourself off from dealing with COVID patients, whatever. I got that covered. Also, meals, things like that. I got somebody coming in, Tuesday, Thursday, all you got to do is work. They needed a family meeting. What she was saying is, I didn't say no to this opportunity. What I said was no to you leaving and not having a conversation with me as to how we was going to make this work, because you left me to handle all the logistics myself, and I could not figure it out or handle it myself. A team player makes sure that you can do this, and you also got me set up as well. So all I'm saying is I agree with him. Yes, take that opportunity. It's going to be great for your family. It's going to be wonderful for your career, but take care of home too. And these men don't feel like, from what we're hearing, that home is their responsibility. And that's the problem that I have. My problem is they don't feel like they need to be partners to their wives, that their wives take care of home and they ain't got to deal with that, because they're the ones that's supposed to go out and make the money. But as a partner of today, one thing that I love about my relationship is Darian gives Marlo's baths like I give Marlo baths. Darian, if I'm being honest, cooks 10 times more than me. He cooks. He's the cook of the house. That is a gender role that most men don't like to take. My husband loves to cook. He'll cook any day. All I'm saying is what works for you, but y'all got to sit down and y'all got to talk. Y'all got to have some real conversations. Don't just get up and leave and then say, I told you about the opportunity, and then dip. No, but I think we need a family meeting.
The background of a lot of the stories from this show is that these men know and feel that their wife don't support what they want. So I feel like, because all three of the men literally have came out and said, the real reason why I didn't tell you is because I knew you was going to shut it down.
But that's not a reason in a marriage. I'm never going to always 100% agree with you, but you still talk to me about it.
But that's what they're doing.
But what's happening for them is their ego, their men, they're trying to move up and to be honest, none of I'm the breadwinner and you at home. They women making money. Like Anthony's wife is a doctor and has a wine business. So it's not like the dynamic of I'm gonna just do whatever I'm gonna do and you stay at home. The issue is there's an ego with all of them because they're not really like, they don't have that status in their marriage.
Oh man.
So, if you think about it,
do you feel like in today's society, there's still men that can't handle their wives making more money than them?
For sure.
To me, you ask me, I think all the men feel like that. If you ask me the truth. I don't know a friend, a man, that they might say, I have a sugar my hand, take care of me. But they don't like.
But what if it isn't a take care? What if both people bring something to the table? They both bring
men still want to be more. Men still want to be more than a woman. They gonna always want to be more than the woman.
But he knew he was marrying a doctor.
But he also, and this is where we get a little bit deeper, where I start getting on his side. He did also invest in her business, put up most of the money for her business.
He did for the wine business.
So you have that going on too, so where he like, you a doctor, you wanted to do something completely different. Like he said, if you wanted to go out to Napa and go taste some wines for months, I would have. He told her that.
I mean, and I feel that. Here's the thing, and I'm for that. And I think both of them should have opportunities. The difference is, as women, we consider if I leave, what needs to be taken care of.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And these men, at least on this show, just up and leave and expect them to carry whatever the deficit and the load is without any conversation. That's usually where the frustration comes.
And it gets deeper too, because in this situation, he brought up the fact that it wasn't just the fact that he felt like people weren't feeling like he was a good dad. Like, it seems like, and this is another thing, every woman on this show is a PK, and her daddy is a bishop.
Mm-hmm.
And he mentioned, he was like, no, I was getting calls from your daddy, your people. I need your family. I love your family. That's what hurt me. So I feel like for him, it was more of the fact that I think that she's stubborn too, to where when he made her mad by doing what he did, she decided, I'm not going to make it work either. Cool. You gone. I'm going to be here with my family. I'm going to badmouth you to my family. I'm not going to even consider moving the kids
and that's
down
wrong
there.
Too. And that's
you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, like she didn't protect him. She didn't protect him in that situation.
At all.
Again, it goes back to what we have been saying throughout this entire thing. You have to always protect your spouse.
Yep.
I can go off on you. I can be mad and go off on you, but I ain't gonna go tell my mama. Oh yeah, my
some stuff stays at home, man. Exactly. Some stuff just needs to stay in your house, and y'all got to be okay with just.
I'm gonna make it sound like it was our idea, that we got it worked out, that we got a plan.
Yeah, until them kids start getting talked about and racial stuff, and she couldn't handle that.
But see, that's another thing too, because the first thing I would think is I'm finna get my kids and go down to Atlanta. But that's just me.
Right.
Or at least because,
but y'all, she also has a contractual job. It's in the middle of COVID, so she also probably has a duty to her patients and probably like. No,
I mean, I'm not gonna be that girl.
Or I would have shipped the kids down to Atlanta.
Ship the kids,
yeah. Go with him.
Do y'all think that man would have accepted them kids while he was working?
I think I think he would be the one that would. I personally do.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know the man, but I just would.
That's why I'm like, I don't know, Mandy. I don't know.
I think he would. I think he would.
I feel like a lot of these men on this show is a little very male chauvinist gender roles of the kids go with the mama. And the mama raised the kids.
His boy Russell signed up for school and didn't even tell this girl.
And which can we just say? The fact that you already started and been in classes, have you been lying for the amount of time?
You have like,
what have you been telling her while you have been at classes? Do you go to the gym that much where you was just like, I'm getting another, what did you tell her for you to be gone this long?
Yeah.
That's about an hour, 2 hour class, right? Like
and can we talk about how disheartening the conversation with her parents was?
We can talk because
triggered.
I was so disheartened with the fact
felt like that was normal life. I was like,
me too.
I felt like they was trying to gaslight her, and I was like, no, girl, your feelings are valid. Like how you feel and what you're saying and everything you're thinking is valid. Do not let them talk you out of this. Like.
Yeah.
No, you're okay.
So let's keep it all the way a buck. This is the storyline that I feel like I have to completely keep it a buck with. Yeah. I feel like I was Kobe. I am Kobe. Kobe came into that table and said, "Listen, y'all know how I felt about y'all marriage. Y'all know how I felt." That I knew my mama got the brunt of the end of the stick when it came to you and your commitments with being a pastor. Lord. And y'all know how I felt about that. I told y'all how I felt about that. I've been vocal about it. And she having this conversation with her mom, like, Mama, I know you always didn't like your marriage. Basically, that's what she basically was trying to say. Yeah. Like, I know you really didn't like your marriage, but instead of you wanting me to be you, why don't you want me to have a better life? Like, that's what I feel like she was trying to say. Because the mama just sitting there like, well, you know, God comes first. And you know you can't stop what God. This is my problem. It's really like you in a cult. Like I love the Lord, and I feel like the Lord loves me.
Nothing comes before the crown.
Nothing comes before the crown at all. And
to me, for the church, bro.
Like Kobe said, and I agree with everything she said. She said, "Listen, I'm never gonna question the assignment that God put on my husband, but I don't think nowhere in that did God say don't tell your wife."
Yes, tell your in-laws,
father-in-laws.
The fact that he even knew he enrolled and he was ready to curb the conversation until Kobe told him that Russ told me. That was my problem. He was like, "Oh, okay, good," because I didn't know if I could say anything because it was
manipulation. though. You go to my parents because you knew I was gonna go to my parents and talk about it, and you wanted to make sure they was on your side and you cool.
She better than me. I wouldn't have went to my parents because it would have been an answer that I wouldn't have wanted. So this is something that I wouldn't have done that. Are you kidding me?
I told your parents, they would have been like, "Oh, can't talk to them."
But that hurt my heart though.
That's when you call Mother Baylor, Jasmine. You call Mother Baylor and be like, "I need an unbiased opinion. I need somebody that really
as a woman though, and being in her position." And the thing that I felt so bad for her is that this man knew since the day, like the very first conversation, because that's the first conversation I have with people. I'm gonna keep it a buck. I tell people that I'm dating, listen. You ever thinking about being a pastor? I ain't the one for you, dog. I tell them that up front. Like, that's not for me. That's not gonna be for my kids. No. So for him to know that, and he even said it on their date, like, I know how you felt about this. You told me this is the very first time we dated.
You grew up.
And and this woman has probably cried to this man about the marriage that she saw, or about her not being able to have the relationship with her dad.
Everything. Yeah.
And you gonna literally hear that for years. And then not only go do it behind her back.
Behind her back because you knew she was because you knew she wasn't gonna like it. Here's my thing too, like just real life situation. Like I'll never forget when Darian came to me and was like, "I want to be a minister." I about fell out on the floor because I'm like I really thought I dodged this bullet. I really thought
it'd be hard.
I dodged that mantle because I know with that mantle can come more things, right? And in this moment, we're just talking. Right. In this moment, we're talking about just being a minister. But still, like you have ministers' wives, and there's expectations with that, and like it's almost like a grooming. And I was just like, you know what?
Ain't no law almost.
We had to have a real conversation. And I was like, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm never gonna hold you back from doing anything that you feel like you were called to do. But I'm gonna be very clear with you. If you are asking me to be involved in in that kind of a way, I'm not gonna be there. I will be in the pew to support you, to listen to the sermons. But if they start asking for minister wives, this, and that, that's not what I'm signing up for. And people can say that, Marla, you are being resistant. You are being rebellious to God and the calling that He had. But I'm sitting here like, that's not my calling. I know what it takes for those mantles, being what we have seen being in this family. And I'm not saying that they don't have good marriages. I'm not saying it is a selfless job. I feel like a lot of times people want that mantle, but until you really understand what that comes with, the expectation of perfection for your family is probably the most horrible mantle that anybody in your family has to carry. The feeling of never being able to make mistakes, the feeling of you got to be the example
all the time
for everything that I am discussing. So no, you can't do this, and no, I can't allow you to do this. And I didn't ask for that mantle. I didn't ask to be a part of that.
I was just born.
Baby,
I was a church girl trying to be free.
You Beyonce church girl. Like, right. I ain't trying to hurt nobody.
Okay? Nobody can judge me but me.
I'm trying to be the best that I can be.
I'm just out here. People don't understand. Like, I feel like trying to hurt nobody. In church, you have so many people that want to be close to the first family, or like, I can't wait to be a pastor. And I'm y'all don't even have a real understanding of what that looks like and how it is to raise. I mean, to your point, someone over here just said selfless. Like, you have to be literally your family a lot of times comes second.
Yeah.
Because you have to be first line for everybody else. And then you have to, if you have kids, explain to them
by the end of the day. You can't all to somebody,
and I just feel like for Russell to know the trauma of what she has expressed to him, and for him not to bring her along the journey to get her to come along with it, was the worst thing that he could have done. To me, that's like counseling, right? We need to go to counseling, because I'm telling you right now, like she told him,
I was just about to say, is that
I will never be a first lady. I'm not going to be. I'm not going to do it.
That for me, like that would be we need to go to counseling, or I'm probably gonna file for divorce, because
it's a deal breaker.
Said, like if you have these conversations before marriage, like we talked about kids and stuff like that. That's something as a PK that I feel like we all have conversations with our significant others. Like, this is my life. This is what I went through. I love my parents. I love church. I love God, but this is not what I want for my life and my kids. So my deepest, darkest secrets and traumas. For me, that would be more of a betrayal than you cheating on me. For me personally.
Yeah. But then I also understand too, like, and Lord, like,
I don't understand. God didn't promise
when people have a calling on their life, you also can't run from that. But for me, this is why I say he
ain't on my life. It's on his, so I can run.
But technically, he can't call one without calling the other.
That's what I was about to say. Picking your spouse. That spouse is supposed to have that same. Or you like Granny, Lord, give me a desire for the people.
Give me a heart for the people.
Give me a heart for the people.
Give it a heart for the people.
She was technically called to be a first lady as well. She just didn't know it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But no.
Nothing.
But it's still a life that you never imagined. I mean, I think for us, and I would just always say this for me, but Shani was never a peak. Here's the thing. I think it's different when you have someone who wasn't in church to take that mantle. It feels different. But someone who, I tell people all the time, like, who are close to me.
Yeah.
Growing up in church was one of the hardest things that out of 30 something years old, was one of the hardest things that I've ever had to endure, because of the expectation of perfection as a pastor's kid. That is a mantle I do not wish on anybody. It forces you not to talk to people. It forces you not to be close to people. It forces you not to trust anybody. I mean, I literally looked like God, like we sanctified church. So like the long skirts, I couldn't wear jeans till I was 16. I couldn't get my ears pierced till I was 16. I couldn't even wear cotton candy fingernail polish until I was in college. I literally came home one day with pink eyeshadow from college, and I got a lecture all the way to the church about how different I am, and they don't know me anymore. Like, I need y'all to understand the level of bondage,
some trauma
that I was in, trying to please, because as kids, what do we want to do? We want to please our parents. We want to make our parents happy with what we do, and we want to see smiles and them to be proud of us. So I was that kid that I'm like, I didn't believe in consequences. So if you tell me to do something, unless you give me the okay to do it, I'm not going to do it. So I wasn't doing stuff behind people's backs. Like, that was good. And, I feel like I didn't find my voice until I got in college. Like, people ask me all the time, Marla, why did you go all the way to Iowa? You didn't know nobody. And it shocks people when I say, I did that on purpose because I didn't want anybody to know who I was, and I wanted to figure out who I was as a person without anybody knowing who I was previously. I needed that restart for myself. Exactly. And so knowing, I don't know what Kobe went through. I don't know the same thing, girl. And I don't know the kind of church. Different churches are different.
That's a church. It's different. Detroit is a church city.
Yeah, I don't know the kind. You got the Kojic is even more strict than apostolic.
You got the Clark the one. You got the church. That's like Hollywood for church.
It is. No. And so I don't know what she went through, but I know like PK, it's hard when we say PK. It's like PKs. It's really hard. It's a hard role to play.
I think too. Growing up in it, it's a spiritual aspect to it too. That while we don't fully understand it ourselves, because we don't know God for ourselves at 12 and 11 years old, but we just know it through our parents. So it's like, okay, well, I want to do what I'm supposed to do because I don't want God to be upset with me. I want to go to hell. You know what I'm saying? That's always
I don't want my parents mad, and I don't want to go to hell, and I want God mad at me. It's that's some stuff that's 12-year-old.
Yeah, and that's not really that. We need to make that a topic.
It is. We can talk about this topic all day. But this was very triggering. I understand, Kobe. I also understand when you have a calling on your life. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm super still spiritual. And I understand, like, when you have a calling, what that looks like. But knowing what my triggers are, I'm disappointed. That ain't how you go about it, because you know me, I'm an X 24 questions for kids, right? Yeah. I'm gonna be like, so how did you hear? What did it sound like?
What did you start feeling?
How often did you hear this pull?
Have you always?
What did the spirit? When did the spirit hit you and said that you need to move in this direction? How long have you been thinking and contemplating this decision?
Where do you want to go with this?
Yeah, because she asked that because Kobe is, I'm telling y'all, Kobe is me. Right now, we're talking about you being a chaplain. But are you talking about wanting to fully pastor a church? Because like she said, I am not being nobody's first lady. If you're looking for a first lady, that's where I'm signing out. Go find Shani because I'm signing out. Shani, I feel like certain people can take those mantles when they've never been in those mantles.
But she also but Shani has always operated in circles where she was the first lady. Like, if you really think, like, she's always been the
first. That's all Basketball Wives is.
That's all she was the first lady of Basketball Wives, literally. Right. So that meant, like, and they have events and empowerment and they have wives associations. Like it
was on her brand. It was her brand.
Yeah, it was her
brand.
But
for someone, I'm just saying, for someone who grew up in it,
it's not gonna be your brand.
It is, and unless you're someone who eventually, so like you have Sarah Jakes Roberts, right? Who is literally, the mantle is being passed down to her, and she wants that mantle. True. She was just ordained as an assistant pastor for TD Jakes Church, and she's doing a great job. Pastoring
about her trauma.
She was able to take it and turn.
And that could be a ministry. Like I see what you said. Yeah. Like I feel like you said, God puts everybody through what He know they can handle. And like even me and you, like we have the same parents, but had totally different childhoods. Like Marla said, she found her voice when she left. I found my voice because I saw her and was like, yeah, that ain't gonna be me. So I found my voice really early.
Mandy said, orange fingernail polish at 10. That's what we doing, and we ain't going back. And I'm wearing lipstick at 12. Fight me if you want.
And it helped because I had a best friend who she wasn't Christian, but she was Muslim. So we both couldn't do the same things. We both were like restricted. So I had somebody to go through life with. Jesus. Yeah, that we both was like, look, what we finna do? How we finna get to do this?
I think it helped too because we are so much older. So we were determined to not let you live the life that we lived. Like, look, we're not going to continue this level of bondage. We trying to break free of them trauma bonds.
100%. That's real. 100%. But I wanted Mandy to have a different, like, I literally sat down with my parents, in college, and I was like, it got to be different for her. This is what y'all didn't know that I was dealing with. These are the things that, because I was scared to talk to y'all about, like, that I was facing, and I don't want her to go through that. So, like, I was very vulnerable in those moments, and I was happy that they listened to do something different with Mandy. But it takes sometimes for, as new parents, we make mistakes.
Yeah,
and we learn and we grow from them.
Sorry for y'all first kids. Y'all
and first kids are usually your trial kids.
I'll be real with you. What Marlon went through, I didn't even go through.
So. That's what I'm saying. Like,
no, Mandy, I need you to understand. I would go to Mother Baylor's house, and all of my cousins were wearing jeans.
Hello.
I still had on skirts.
Well, Granny tried me for the longest, bro. Until one day she asked me something crazy, like, if your brother wore a skirt over here, how would you feel? And I was like, if that's what he want to do, that's his choice. And after that, she just left me alone.
And I think
like,
that's you have to have those moments.
Like,
yeah, you have to have those moments.
Just like after that, she left me alone.
But I feel like God puts, like, you know, everything, of course, is in the way God designed it to be. And I just feel like the way I grew up, like, yeah, there was a lot of trauma that happened, but like at the same time, like, I'm still grateful that I had like a grounded upbringing, and my parents weren't crazy and out here giving me other type of traumas, like ruining my credit and stuff, like these people be out here doing. You know what I'm saying? Like,
so it could have been a different trauma. It could have been something different.
Trauma. Like, I feel like everybody has trauma. It's just different types of traumas. And
but knowing like, that's her trigger. Come on.
But that's my thing. That
was ignorant. That was ignorant for
me. It's like let's say you grew up with a parent that was an alcoholic. Yeah. And you tell your spouse, I may not drink, but I feel a way if I see somebody that's too overserved, and then he come home drunk every night.
Yeah.
You activated my traumas, and I feel like that's like he's activating it in her, but I also feel like part of her trauma won't allow her to truly do anything about it because she like, well,
she go to her parents for validation, and you know they don't validate.
I was gonna say that. Why did she go to her parents knowing doggone well that they was gonna be like, "We here for
like they was gonna say something different"?
Like, what are they gonna say? If anything, they're gonna be like, "Don't be mad at Russell."
Yeah, exactly.
He heard from the Lord.
About it. It goes even deeper now. Now she probably is even dealing with more trauma because now she thinking if I leave this man, the church gonna hate me, my parents gonna hate me, the family gonna hate me, is God gonna hate me? Like.
They've only been married for 3 years. So I just kind of feel like I don't like anything in a partnership where we don't have a discussion.
Yeah.
I at least deserve, whether I agree or disagree, and you're going to do it anyway. Yeah. I at least deserve the acknowledgement and the discussion before you do something.
Yeah.
And that's problematic to me because that's a huge, major life decision that affects, and let's talk about everybody. Y'all know when he said National Guard, they get deployed. Like
it's too many layers.
So now, so we also got to deal with me now being you signing up for the National Guard without talking to me is my first problem. It ain't even it ain't even a chaplain. That's like my husband signing up for the Army and then telling me afterwards.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Making a decision that's going to affect the whole family, our child.
Like, we could have to move in the next 3 weeks.
Or you have a staying at home with a baby by yourself.
Yeah, no, I have a friend.
You know she's going to stay in Detroit.
Their parent was a chaplain, and they moved all around the United States, even in that role. So, like, I'm like, bruh, what did you sign up for?
Selfish.
That's trauma.
And that's further to me with that part. Once I realized chaplain is one thing, I'm like, oh, maybe a hospital, right? Chaplain in a hospital.
No.
Right, cool. But once he said the National Guard, I said, no, he enlisted. This is where I would have lost my mind.
Yeah,
because you can't just say
moment.
Because now it's like cameras. It's some
cut
stuff.
The cameras, because now you're telling me as a family unit I may have to pick up and leave like an Army brat that you didn't even communicate. What about our kid?
Imagine
you didn't even talk to me about this.
Army brat and a PK. Jesus. You ain't never
had no friends.
You never had no friends. Like
you thought you ain't had no friends before. You never go have no friends.
Never finna have no friends. You gotta explain to your situation to somebody. Know every time you move.
Yeah,
you gotta be the weird new kid. Like, every time you go somewhere, your daddy the pastor. Oh no, baby.
I need to see this unfold some more. Cannot wait for the next couple of episodes. But I think if we haven't talked about it enough, check out Detroit, man. I think it's some real good,
real life,
solid, real life moments. It's so raw because it's so new. No one's Hollywood yet, so you're getting the real of their lives.
Yeah.
And like I said, it's a lot. I think we like it because it's a lot to relate to.
So much.
And so
everywhere. It's just
Yeah, good job, Carlos, on this one. I'm gonna give you your props on this
one.
It's
the best one to me so far.
You got some gold with this. So yeah, I think that's gonna end us, guys, for tonight.
We always say we're gonna be short. We just can't.
Well, we said 2 hours. We said 2 hours.
Long-winded like church. Long-winded.
Facts. Look, the preacher said, and my 6th closing. Okay.
Straight up.
All right. Look, it's all good, but hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Again, please
watch.
Add us on Instagram. Follow our YouTube channel. It's the Family Ties podcast. We are also on all of the streaming channels, Spotify, Apple, wherever you get your podcasts, we are there. So please, we want to hear some feedback from our listeners. We see y'all downloading episodes, so y'all need to tell us what y'all think. Tell a friend. Tell anyone that you think love reality TV. It's a Black girl perspective, so you don't get this anywhere. So definitely come check us out. Right?
Agreed.
Yeah, and I think that's all I got to say. What y'all got? Y'all got anything else?
Like, comment, and subscribe.
Danny said life is good, and Jasmine said like and subscribe. Heard you. Shay, what you got?
Amen.
What you got,
Shay?
Amen.
All I got is leave us a review, y'all. We love to see your comments.
Yes.
We look forward to seeing them. Leave a comment on our Instagram, whatever we want to see.
We on Threads.
We on Threads.
We on Threads?
Yeah,
I ain't even crystally on Threads.
We on Threads, girl. You sign a 360 deal. If you get in there, you can't get out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't sound good.
No, for real. If you delete your thread, it deletes your Instagram.
For real? Oh, Jesus.
All right.
That's how Mark Zuckerberg got y'all.
Okay. All right.
I don't use Twitter. I ain't gonna use Threads, so we just gonna be up.
It's gonna be open.
All right. Well, bye, guys. Until next time.
Bye.